And when you talk about toxicity, it runs across the gender lines.
Yeah, because most of the time the assumption is that if someone is walking out from a toxic relationship, it is the woman running from
the man.
Yeah, from the man.
Yeah.
But it also the reverse also
it's also true. Just empower yourself in whichever way that you can. You don't have to sit there and be stuck and feel like this is the end of it all.
It's a bit difficult to for me to go out crying there to my friends. Yeah, so we resort to other things, substances and all that. It's a bit complicated. I'm trying to. I was sitting here thinking, how does a man get support system for walking out of a relationship?
Welcome to yet another episode, and today is a day like no other. I know people have been asking me, why is this just about women? No, it's not just about women. Toxic relationships run across all genders, all religion, and in the spirit of that, I have a guest speaker with me who will be helping me enlighten you some more. And before I even introduce him to you, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm just going to go right into it and introduce our speaker here with us. He's going to tell us his name and just a bit about himself. So, karibu sana.
Thank you. My name is Mutema, Dan Mutema. I am an events person. I'm a photographer. I'm a student, currently doing psychology, but I am not an authority in that field. Yeah, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Karibu sana. Thank you for being here. And today you're going to be helping me because I want my people to also understand that this is not just about me talking about the women. And when you talk about toxicity, it runs across the gender lines.
Yeah, because most of the time the assumption is that if someone is walking out from a toxic relationship, it is the woman running from
the man.
Yeah, from the man. Yeah. But it also the reverse also
it's also true. Yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about living toxic relationships, which is basically like the mother of all things. I remember when I was at this space some months back, and I remember wondering, is there like a roadmap that one knows? Because I know so many people are feeling stuck. You don't know, especially if you have kids, you're there in that relationship and you know it's not serving you, but then you're wondering to yourself, like, how do I get out of it? And I remember asking myself, is there somebody who I can just ask this question? How do I walk out of this relationship? So today I just wanted us to expound more and to talk about the things that personally I've used, and also these are tested and tried methods of how you can successfully decide, this is it, I'm done, and I'm ready now to take the next phase of my life. And I'm just going to go right into it, to go to the very first point, which is before you even consider walking out of that relationship, you need to be prepared mentally and emotionally. What do I mean by this? It can be so hard, it can be draining, it can be hectic, it can be crazy to even get yourself mentally to that space where you can walk out. So I feel that this is the first thing that people need to know, and it is the one thing that is not tangible. It's not something that you can buy. It's not something that you can tell someone, hey, what do I do about this? It's a work that only you can do it for yourself. What do you think about it?
The question is, okay, my first assumption is that by the time you're talking or thinking about walking out of a relationship, you have tried everything you could to save the relationship.
Yeah.
And either the other person is not willing to make things work, and so you are the only one left to work on it, or this completely, you've hit rock bottom, as you mentioned before, and so that is the only way out.
Yes.
Well, it is definitely better if a relationship is get some healing. Yes, if there's chance that it will be salvaged, then by all means. But we are only considering the ones that.
Yes.
Also, a point to note. it doesn't mean that if you see one of the many things we're going to talk about, you automatically know time to
run.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, point to consider. Yes, go. The
I
first
think
one.
that I've even done a previous video before about a scorecard, about how to know whether your relationship is unhealthy, where you look at the 5 aspects. I'm not even going to go into it again because I have talked about it before in the previous videos. And please, if you have not watched the previous video on the scorecard, there's a video highlighting about this scorecard of how you can tell whether you're in a healthy or an unhealthy relationship. And today's video is, we're talking to you who feels that you've done everything to salvage your relationship. You're that woman who is there in an abusive relationship, maybe being beaten up black and blue, like the videos that has been doing a trend. I don't know whether you've watched it.
No, I haven't seen.
Yeah, there's a video doing a trend there, and there's this lady being slapped. We're talking about you who feels like this is not serving you anymore. This is a relationship that you don't want to be in. Yes, it's very true that a relationship can change, can be better, can be salvaged, but it only takes 2 people to make it work, and it takes 2 people to make it not work. So we are talking here to this person, to you, who you feel that this is the end of it all, and you're done, and you're not there wondering, what do I do? And we talked about the first point: be emotionally prepared, be mentally prepared. And only you can get to that point, where you get to this point where you say, no matter what happens, this is my decision, I'm running with it. Just like you made that choice, like you made that decision maybe years or months back to get into this relationship, where even at that point, no one and nothing would have told you otherwise. You were set on being with this person no matter what. Should be the very same way you're prepared to decide whatever happens, no matter how many people I lose, no matter who is going to be on my side, no matter how things are going to be bad, this is what I'm going to do. You need to get to that space mentally. The second point is that you need to be financially prepared. Women are stuck in relationships because of financial independence, dependence. They're dependent on their partners, they're dependent on their spouses, who in this case are very toxic. And it's to say that, like I normally say a lot, for my business, my scented candles business, it was a skill that I learned. So you're seated there, you feel like you've never even you don't have any formal education, you don't have a job, and you're wondering, what can I do about this? You can learn a skill. Just empower yourself in whichever way that you can. You don't have to sit there and be stuck and feel like this is the end of it all. What do you think about that?
I was more concerned with the part of how to do it. Like, yeah, and it's good that you're pointing out that someone pick up a skill. You might not have a
formal education,
so that you are not in a position to look for formal work. But yeah, there's something you can definitely do.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good assumption to have. Yeah. Or sometimes I will speak on the part of, as a man, you're also in a toxic relationship, and there's this woman who is all over your case, and
finances.
You're like, yes.
Yeah.
And my perspective is, I wouldn't want to look at the relationship as it is no longer serving me, because what happens at a point in life when things are not working. Maybe someone's business dies, and they are not financially able to support you. Then does it mean that you go out? I don't think that's the case. Yes, yeah.
But that's where the scorecard came in, because the scorecard says that an unhealthy relationship doesn't necessarily mean that you have to support someone financially. There are other aspects. There's the emotional aspect, there's the mental aspects, the emotional regulation, things like your spiritual. It does not mean that because a man cannot provide financially, that automatically you need to up and leave. We're talking in the perspective of this person is being very abusive towards you. Maybe they even have the money. Even in the terms of it's a man, it's the woman here who has the money. And we have seen that happening. Maybe you've lost your job as a man, and this woman is now being very abusive to you. Like there was a man who actually told that to me on my DMs, and he told me, I lost my job during COVID, and my wife is now the one who has the money, but she's being dropped off by I don't know how many different cars. She no longer respects me. I know respect is huge for a man. She's no longer even talking to me. Nothing is happening even in the bedroom. So what would you, like an advice to this man, what would you say? Let's divert a bit. What will you tell this man?
Definitely.
And she's even becoming now abusive, because like we know, even women can be very abusive. There's some very toxic women out there.
Today, because we're talking about how to work out of an abusive relationship,
Now,
then it will definitely, I would advise also the men, find out what you can do. You might not have, you might not have a skill that will get you a good job, but you can go back to school. You can do the little that you can with the little that you're getting. Then, and go back to school, learn a new skill. Who knows? Yes, they're limitless.
Okay, that is a discussion that we need to have. So for the third one, which is something else that you need to consider before you leave this relationship, is a support system. A support system will come in handy, especially when you need to leave as a woman, because most of the time it's the woman who walks out and leaves the home. Where do you go to? Who do you talk to? It can even be a therapist. A support system is going to be very vital during this time, because healing and you living, it's a whole dynamic, it's a whole thing. And as we talk about friends, you need to gauge your friends. You need to understand which sort of friends are you talking to, who can you open up to, who do you trust, because it's not everyone. And especially in the case of parents who don't support their daughters or their sons. There's some parents I understand who say that you got into that marriage, you need to stick in it. What's your take about that?
My take on it, when it matters support system, basically for women it's possible because they go and talk. As for men, how we relate, it's a bit difficult for me to go out crying there to my friends. So we resort to other things, substances and all that. It's a bit complicated. I was sitting here thinking, how does a man get support system for working out of a relationship? Well, for those who are open to therapy, well, by all means, I would highly recommend. But other than that, most of the time, as a man, even however toxic your relationship is, the moment you leave your wife, it is like bibi. As in, there's no room that you could be vulnerable and being abused, and you decide to walk out. So if you walk out, it is like you're a weak man, and like you need to stick in there, and if it kills you, it kills you. But yes, I understand sometimes you might need to walk out, just that there's no support structure for men, yes. At least not that I know of. Yes, I have heard of one in the West called Men Going Their Own Way. And one of the other things, shortly, because I know we are short of time, is some of these groups can go to the extreme level, to them being toxic in that. Like one of the things that this group, because the West is, the justice system really supports the woman. Like if there's a separation or a divorce, the woman takes half of your wealth and all that. So these men end up, you could, as a man, you could even lose your job, you would lose your house. They teach their younger men to never remarry, never commit, never to separate yourself from the woman as much as possible. We have seen the number of divorces happening in the recent past, and because of all that, so you get the support structures for men are coming in very strong head, and like keep the woman in a place. Any property, put it in your mother's name, so that in case of anything, there is nothing she's getting. So you get,
I feel like there's still so much that we need to talk about, but for today's topic, I think we can just agree on that. But I'd still want to have you back here. I feel like you can talk on the perspective of the men out there. I feel like they also need a voice. as much as we try and help the women, as much as I'm a huge advocate of the women. But I'd really love for you to come back again, because I feel like you can offer us insight on the man's world and all that. So I'm just going to be posing a question to my audience out there. Like, just give me a comment, leave me a comment. What do you think? Would you want us to also learn about what happens in the minds of the men as well? And because I also know that we have some audiences, in my audience I have some men who are also going through the very same thing. Would you love to have an advocate man here who is talking on your behalf? Like, let's talk. Comments below, DM me on my socials, Jacinta on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. So until next time, it was so lovely having you here and having your perspective as the man to my audiences. I really appreciate you, and I'm hoping that they still want to see you again. So thank you very much. See you next time, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye, guys.